So in this video, we're going to go over the problems that are in the end of year test review. So in this first question, it says to find the inverse of f of x equals the square root of x plus 3. So remember, we always start off by replacing f of x with y, so we have y equals the square root of x plus 3. And then we're going to switch the values of x and y. So we have x equals the square root of y plus 3. And so now to undo this and get y by itself, we're going to go ahead and square both sides of the equation. So when you square both sides, we get x squared equals y plus 3. And remember, now we need to solve this equation for y, so I'm going to go ahead and subtract 3 from both sides. So when I subtract 3 from both sides, I end up with x squared minus 3 equals y, which if I rewrite using inverse notation, I get answer A. So in this problem, it asks me to find what is f of g. So remember, whenever we see this kind of notation, it's easier to rewrite as f of g of x, because that's what we're trying to figure out. So f is going to be the outer function, and g of x is going to be the inner function. So this is basically like saying, what is f of g of x, which is 3x squared? So that means I'm going to go to this definition of f of x, and then I'm going to plug in 3x squared everywhere I see an x. So that's going to turn this equation into 3x squared plus 6. And there's nothing that I can simplify here, so that's going to go ahead and be my answer. So in this problem, it says to find the inverse of f of x equals x minus 4. So once again, I'm going to start off by replacing f of x with y. So I have y equals x minus 4. And then I'm going to switch x and y to find the inverse. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve for y by adding 4 to both sides. So when I do that, I end up with x plus 4 equals y, which if I rewrite that using inverse function notation, I end up with answer B. So in this problem, it says that Annie, Bill, and Charles completed in a local trivia competition and earned a total of 300 points. Bill earned triple the number of points that Annie did. Charles earned 20 points less than Bill. Let A represent the number of points Annie earned, B represent the number of points Bill earned, and C represent the number of points Charles earned. Which equation is not true for this situation? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just write these equations on my own, and then I'm going to look at the answer choices. So they have a total of 300 points. So that means that A plus B plus C equals 300, right? And then in the next sentence, it tells us that Bill earned triple the number of points that Annie did. So that means that B equals 3A. And then in sentence 3, it says that Charles earned 20 points less than Bill. So that means the number of points Charles earned equals the number of points Bill earned minus 20. So these are my 3 equations that will represent this system. So I'm going to cross out any answer choice that does not match these. So this is a good choice. B doesn't need to be excluded. C doesn't look like it makes any sense for this problem, but let's just double check D. D matches our last equation, so that means that C is the left out equation, right? So C is the one that's not true for this situation. So in this problem, it says that Joyce creates a snack mix containing raisins, almonds, and granola for her class. Raisins cost $2 a pound, almonds cost $4.50 a pound, and granola costs $6 a pound. She's willing to spend $62.75 to make 18 pounds of trail mix. For the trail mix to taste right, the amount of raisins must equal twice the amount of almonds. Let R represent the pounds of raisins, A represent the pounds of almonds, and G represent the pounds of granola. Which equation is needed to represent this situation? So it's only asking me for one equation, but I'm just going to write all 3 to just see which ones match my answer choices. So it says that she's willing to spend $62.75 to make 18 pounds of trail mix. So the total number of pounds is 18, right? So that means that R plus A plus G equals 18. And then the price per pound, we're going to add that in so that we have our total of $62.75. So raisins is $2 a pound. Almonds is $4.50 a pound. And then granola is $6 a pound. So that's going to equal our total of $62.75. Also, for her trail mix to taste right, the amount of raisins has to equal twice the amount of almonds. So that means that raisins is 2 times A. So equation A is not needed for this situation. B is needed because that's going to be our 3rd equation. C is not needed and D is not needed. So even if you find the right answer choice, remember to read through the other ones just to double check your work. So in this question, it says, Carol bought a salad and steak for $17.60. What is the price of each? If a steak, it costs 4 times as much as a salad. So let's use L to represent salad and let's use S to represent steak. So a salad plus steak equals $17.60. In sentence 2, it tells us that a steak is 4.5 times as much as a salad, right? So steak equals 4.5 times the salad. So we can actually use substitution to solve this problem. So we can plug in 4.5L up here into this equation where we have S. So we have L plus 4.5L equals 1760. So what I can do is I can combine these. This is 1L plus 4.5L. So I have 5.5L equals 1760. So now I can solve this equation for L by dividing both sides by 5.5. And that's going to tell me the price of a salad. So we have $17.60 divided by 5.5, which tells me that a salad will cost $3.20. So you can see that already matches answer choice B, but let's just verify that the steak is in fact $14.40. So we have this equation, steak equals 4.5 times 3.2. And so when we do that, let's use our calculator, 4.5 times 3.2, and that does equal 1440. So that means that B is the correct answer choice. So now in this problem, it wants us to solve a 3x3 system of equations. So you can do this multiple ways. You can set up a matrix on your calculator if you want using the coefficients and use that to solve. I'm just going to show you the algebraic way just for review. I'm going to number my equations 1, 2, and 3 so that you know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to choose the most convenient variable to eliminate. So I noticed that z has a coefficient of 1 in equations 2 and 3. So I'm going to try to eliminate that. So first I'm going to combine 1 and 2. And so I have equation 1, which is x minus 3y plus 3z equals negative 4. I'm going to multiply equation 2 by 3 so that I can go ahead and eliminate that z term. So I have 3 times 2x, so that's going to be 6x. 3 times 3y, which is going to be plus 9y. And then minus 3 times z, which is going to be minus 3z. And remember, I have to multiply 15 by 3 also, so I have that equals 45. So when I combine these, I get 1x plus 6x, which is 7x, minus 3y plus 9y, which is plus 6y, plus 3z minus 3z cancel, and that equals 41, right? Negative 4 plus 45. Now I'm going to combine equation 2 and equation 3, because once again, I'm going to try to cancel out z. So equation 2 is 2x plus 3y minus z equals 15. The second equation I'm going to multiply by negative 1 so that I can get z to cancel out. So I have minus 4x plus 3y plus z equals negative 19. So when I combine these, 2x minus 4x is negative 2x. Plus 3y is going to be plus 6y. Minus z plus z cancels, and we have 15 minus 19, which is negative 4. So now I have these two equations, right? My new equations that I've written. So 7x plus 6y equals 41. And I have negative 2x plus 6y equals negative 4. Well, what I can do here is I can actually cancel out the y terms, right? So if I rewrite this, if I just keep the first equation the same, and if I multiply the second equation by negative 1, I can go ahead and cancel out that y term. So that is going to end up being 7x plus 2x, which is 9x. And that equals 41 plus 4, which is 45. So 9x equals 45, I can now solve by dividing both sides by 9. And so that gives me x equals 5. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug this x equals 5 back into one of these equations. I'm just going to pick this first equation. So now I'm going to go to the next page. And so I have 7x plus 6y equals 41. And then I'm going to plug in x equals 5. So I have 7 times 5 plus 6y equals 41. And so 35 plus 6y equals 41. And so if I subtract 35 from both sides, that gives me 6y equals 6. And I divide both sides by 6, and I get y equals 1. So now I'm going to go back to my original equations and pick just one of them. I'm going to pick equation 1. So I have x minus 3y plus 3z equals negative 4. So that x is going to be 5 minus 3y minus 3 times 1 plus 3z equals negative 4. So I have 5 minus 3 plus 3z equals negative 4. 5 minus 3 is 2. 2 plus 3z equals negative 4. Now I subtract 2 from both sides, and I get 3z equals negative 6. And then divide both sides by 3, which gives me z equals negative 2. So remember, when we write our final solution, it's going to be in x, y, z form. So I have x, which is 5, y, which is 1, and z, which is negative 2. So 5, 1, negative 2 is my answer, which is answer choice C. So now in this problem, it says find all points of intersection of the line y equals negative 2x plus 5 and the parabola y equals x squared minus 4x plus 2. So I know in this problem, it does give you a graph. So what you can do is you're going to look for these 2 points of intersection, okay? Where these two cross is going to be the points of intersection. So you can see this has coordinates. So if we count, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, and then negative 1. So 3, negative 1 is going to be one of our solutions. So it looks like answer choice C is pretty good. But let's just make sure. The second one does have the coordinates negative 1, 7. So that is going to be our answer. So if you were going to do this in Desmos, if it didn't give you a graph, you would just type both of these into Desmos and then click on the intersection points to see the coordinates. So in this problem, it says that Anna is selling boxes of chocolate chip cookies, C, for $6 each, and boxes of peanut butter cookies for $7 each. She must sell at least 30 boxes of cookies and at least $175 worth of cookies. Which system of inequalities models the situation? So we have C, which is chocolate chip cookies, and then peanut butter cookies, which is B. So we need to sell at least 30 boxes of cookies, okay? So that means that C plus B has to be at least 30. So if we look at our chart here, it tells us that at least means greater than or equal to. So that means that C plus B is going to be greater than or equal to 30. Well, since addition is commutative, we can write this as B plus C is greater than or equal to 30 also, right? Because that's our format our answer choices are in. So we're going to eliminate any answer choice that doesn't have that. So there goes A, and there goes D. So chocolate chip cookies are $6 each, and peanut butter is $7 each. So we have 7B plus 6C, and she has to sell at least $175. Okay, so once again, that at least is going to be greater than or equal to, and that's going to be 175. So let's find the answer choice that includes this as the second inequality, and so that's going to be answer choice B. Okay, C is incorrect because it pairs the wrong prices with the wrong type of cookie. So in this problem, it says that Sarah is serving wings and burgers at her party. Wings cost $6 a serving, burgers are $3 each. She knows that at least 4 of her friends want wings. Sarah must spend less than $45. She graphs a system of inequalities to determine how many servings of each kind of food she could serve to stay within her budget. According to the dark blue area on the graph, what is the maximum number of burgers that she can serve with 6 servings of wings? Okay, so this dark blue region right here is going to be where the solutions to our inequality are. So if she's serving 6 wings, okay, so this goes by 1. So here's where we have 6 wings, right? So when she has 6 wings, the most number of burgers that she could serve, since burgers is Y, that's going to be right here, right? So that is going to be the value of the most number of burgers that she can serve. So she can serve no more than, let's see, 2 burgers with 6 servings of wings. So in this problem, it gives you different inequalities and says which system of inequalities is shown in the graph. So a couple of things to figure out inequalities. Remember, they are in slope-intercept form, right? Y equals mx plus b. M is the slope, and b is the y-intercept. So we can use that to start to help us figure this out. So let's see, y, and then we have negative 2x plus 4, it looks like. So that's going to have this y-intercept at 4, and then let's see, this dotted inequality, right? Because it looks like it goes down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. So this is going to be our y, and then some inequality, negative 2x plus 4. Now we need to figure out the inequality sign. So it does shade the region that includes 0, 0, right? So if I plug 0, 0 into this inequality, it's going to be 0 and then something, right? Because I haven't figured out my inequality sign. It's going to be negative 2 times 0 plus 4. So 0 and then something, 0 plus 4. So 0 is related how to 4? Well, one clue I have here is it's a dotted line, right? So that means I'm going to have a less than sign or a greater than sign. Because that's what it tells me, a dotted line for a less than sign or a greater than sign. So 0 is less than 4. So that means this inequality needs to be y is less than negative 2x plus 4. So I'm going to eliminate any answer choice that doesn't tell me that. So now I have my second inequality, okay? So another thing to notice here is that I have a solid line. So that means it's going to be a less than or equal to or a greater than or equal to. So that's already kind of telling me that answer choice A is going to be the possibility, but let's just verify. This does have the equation 2x plus 4 because notice the slope goes up 2 over 1. So that is a slope of 2. Let's make sure the inequality sign is right. Once again, 0, 0 is included. If I plug in 0, 0, I get 0 is less than or equal to 2 times 0 plus 4, which does tell me that 0 is less than or equal to 4, which is true. So that's how you figure out that A is the correct answer choice. If you would prefer, you can actually enter all of these into Desmos and see which one matches the graph if you would like to do it that way.